Well, I don't know about you folks, but I'm getting a little tired of winter, and winter has not officially begun here in the Finger Lakes, but it started early this year. It's cold, it's snowy, it's miserable, and Santa Claus is coming next week. Good morning, everybody. It's the 16th of December, 2013. Time for another edition of Weber This Week. As we do most every week, we always have a special guest join us, and we'll bring back longtime friend Mike Bree, who's in the studios this morning. And as Mike is, we like to say to our guests, he's on the couch. He, of course, is the head varsity coach of the women's basketball program up at Waterloo, a team that really needs no introduction, but we're going to spend some time with Mike this morning talking about Waterloo, and expectations are quite high, and we'll get Mike's take on what he thinks of all these expectations. First off, Mike, welcome to the show, and thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me back.
Mike, of course, you were here a year ago. The Waterloo Indian varsity team, led by Deming and Lindsey Johnson, had a sensational year with tremendous help from other players. You made it a tremendous length of the way to the state championships where you were defeated. Of course, they come back now as seniors, Deming and Johnson. The expectation with Steinbruck as well. The expectations are even with a capital E. How's that going for you? I know you got tripped up by Pittsford Sutherland recently, but give us your overview so far into the early season.
Like you said, we've got not only our own expectations, but we got a lot of people that think from what we did last year, a lot of people are expecting us to do the same thing. And, you know, it would be great to do that, but we've been trying to get them to just focus on one day at a time, one game at a time. And, you know, we had our tournament. We played okay against Aquinas, played Sutherland in the championship, and we really struggled. You know, I think we shot 32% from the field, missed a lot of chippies, and they beat us. And, you know, that's a very good team. They'll make a run for the sectional title in A class. Played Mid Lakes and Wayne this past week, and I thought we played a lot better. We played more as a team, and you know, put up some points in the games. And, you know, when we're playing well and moving the ball, we can score some points. So
certainly can. And by the way, Tease we'll talk about at the end of the show too. Lindsey Johnson and Lauren Deming will be here next week as our special guest. We had him here a year ago. We'll get an up-close and personal view of two of the finest players in the state of New York, basically. These phenomenal athletes. They'll be here next week on the couch right before Christmas Eve, and they'll tell us about how their season's going and what they expect as the leaders of that team. Mike, you brought a roster this year. Speaking of Lauren Deming and Lindsey Johnson, certainly it takes more than just two, even though they are the headliners, as we would say, in Las Vegas. Go down the roster and give us a quip on each one of your players and tell us about what you expect from each of these players during the course of the year.
Okay. Well, we've got 15, so hopefully we got enough time.
Oh, we got plenty of time, sure.
We got Janae Larrabee. She's a junior. She's really played well this year to start. She's starting to hit some shots. Like I said, she's a junior. She's doing a nice job, and she fills her role very nicely. We got Lauren Deming, obviously, does everything for us this year. So far, she's averaging almost 19 points a game, 12 rebounds. She had a 24-16 against Mid Lakes. So, you know, she's 6'1". She grows every time you see her. Doing a great job. Angie Davis, really as a senior, is playing really well this year. Defensively, she's gotten a lot better. Still looking for a shot. She hit a couple shots the other night against Wayne. Whitney Conkey's been a really good addition this year. Senior, I think she had 7 points against Mid Lakes the other night, playing really well. Emily Smith, another senior. She's kind of the girl that comes into practice everyone loves, and she's fun to joke with and things, and does a great job whatever we ask her to do. Chelsea Steinrock, junior, does a really good job shooting the basketball. I think she's averaging about 12 points a game this year. Really good when we want to give Lauren a break, or when Lauren gets in foul trouble, she can handle the point as she did against Sutherland. Caitlin Castle, junior, she another little point guard. She's doing a good job in practice, taking care of the basketball, pushing the girls. You know, we kept 15 this year, and those girls that go against our first group there really do a good job pushing them, and she's one of them. Haley Rogers, another one, junior. She's really quick. She's very good defensively. Jasmine Cole, 3-year starter. She'll be able to play Friday for the first time this year. Chelsea France, a starter as a junior this year. She's done a great job. She really does a nice job seeing the floor and passing the basketball. She's also a very good three-point shooter. Haley Benjamin, another girl, junior, comes in and really pushes Lindsay in practice. And when she goes into games, she's really physical and does a nice job. Tia Ongst, another junior, does a nice job in practice, pushing the girls really quick, really physical. Lindsey Johnson, again, we know about her. She's done a great job this year. She had a game against Mid Lakes where I think she only missed one shot. She ended up with 19 points. I think she's averaging close to 20 points this year. She's doing a really good job rebounding. She's doing a lot of people don't realize I think she's leading us in 3-point shots this year. So I think she's hit 5 this year. So she's doing a nice job shooting the basketball. Amanda Webb, another starter this year, senior. She's fun to watch, and defensively she just gets up in you and guards you. She's very quick and makes the opposing person very hesitant with the basketball. And then finally, Jen Abbott. Jen Abbott's done a great job this year. She's a junior. She's been kind of our sub for Lindsay this year. I think she's scored in every game this year and she's getting some minutes. And we decided I think we have 7 seniors, and we've got and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our manager player, Bridget Osterhout, who's also a junior. We kept her around because she does everything we ask, and we wanted a spot for her, and she's doing a great job in practice. We let her practice and do things as much as we can. So, we kept 7 seniors, 9 juniors, and we want to continue after this year being successful. So they do a great job.
Talk about your assistants, too, that help you with the program on the bench. Run down your assistants and how long they've been with you.
Yeah, Steve Spino's been with me since I've been here, going on 5 years. He does a great job. He takes care of all the little things that either I don't have time for or maybe sometimes I forget about. He also runs our travel program, and I can't speak enough about how important that is to have somebody like that in your youth program, because he basically will run the same stuff that I run and get them used to it and familiar with it. Ben Rainbow's my JV coach, and this is his 2nd year, and he was a varsity boys coach for a couple years, and he's great. He's great to have because he's a calming influence on the girls. None of us other coaches are in the school building right now, and he is, and he gets the dirt on him, and he'll come to me and tell me, and he does a great job. He does a great job with the JV team, which is a young team that's going to be really skilled and good here in a couple of years. And then Dave Deming, who's been with me now for really 5 years, but he's only been coaching. This is his 2nd year. He's great to watch because he's trying to improve as a coach, and he loves coaching, and obviously his daughter's on the team, so that's special for him. But even after this year, when Lauren goes and does whatever, I think he'll want to stick with it in some capacity. So
that's great. Mike Bree's our special guest this morning on Weber This Week. Hope you're having a good Monday AM wherever you're checking us out here on FingerLakes1.com. And before we go back to talk to Mike about his upcoming games, I want to switch over to our producer, director, owner, Jimmy Sinacropi. And Jimmy, get a feel on It's a Wonderful Life 5K run. You had spectacular video. My wife is now a big fan of yours, and she checked out every second of it. Give us your overview of how it went. I know it was a miserable night. It was cold. It was icy. And what can you tell us about it? It was very spectacular.
It was a miserable night, I think, for everybody except the runners and participants who had a great time. It was a winter storm in the middle of the of the event, and they had 2,800 people finish. They had 4,000 people sign up, and some of them I don't think made the trip because of the weather. But congratulations to Jeff Rook and Tina Rook and Jolene and Kevin Korzeniewski. They've all been up here talking about that event over the past few weeks. But what they've done, for Seneca Falls and organizing this event is inspirational. And I feel good because they're my peers, they're my generation, exactly. And we're kind of raising our families here in Seneca Falls now, and it's inspiring to see peers of mine have such a huge impact in on our hometown. But it was a great event. The video is always really easy to make because everybody's so happy. So I just put a video camera in front of them, and they're smiling and wishing Merry Christmas. And for me, it's a great day. I walk around with a video camera, and they have 500 people say Merry Christmas to me in the course of a half an hour.
That's great.
So it's a great event.
Well, check it out. It's on FingerLakes1.com. Of course, the homepage you can click on. I'm sure Jimmy will have it out there for some period of time. And certainly a lot of people, I was part-time at the thru-in. I was coming back home. And my timing for coming back home was not very good because every street, it seemed like, in Seneca Falls was blocked off by the police. And I had to make about a few lefts and a few rights to get back home. But I could not help but notice all the athletes and all of the families of the athletes were trying to scoff up a parking spot.
Yeah,
that was the hardest ticket
to park. Yeah.
That was the hardest ticket to get here in Seneca Falls because some people were parking 6 or 8 blocks away from the bridge, and they had to walk from their cars to the bridge. And I found that kind of interesting. But it took me a little extra 15, 20 minutes to get home. But I couldn't help but notice they were freezing to death, shivering, getting out of their cars. But as they went by me, they all had smiles on their face. So they were pumped for the race. And, again, to the Rooks and the Korzanuskis, etc., what a spectacular job.
Absolutely.
And I bet they can't wait for 2014.
I think they can wait.
Get a couple weeks off.
I think they're a little tired right now.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of work. Mike Bree is in the studio, our the head women's basketball coach at Waterloo. This is Weber This Week. In a few minutes, we're going to let's take our commercial break right now. When we come back, we'll go over some football scores, believe it or not. Then we'll go back to Mike and talk about upcoming games. You know, I tell you, my friend Scott Trickler, I'm going to meet after the show for breakfast. He's always said there's a fix factor in the NFL. Could these games be contrived? Well, when I gave you some of the results yesterday, there may be some merit to it. Stay with us here on Weber This Week. Cayuga Lake National Bank. Bill Ryan and his team for all of your banking needs. Offices in Union Springs and Aurora. A fine sponsor of this show for over 30 years. DA Liquors, Seneca Falls. Amy Padula and her great team will find that right spirit for you every time. Tell Amy the dog sent you. Steve Wadhams, Wadhams Enterprises, your employer of choice. Proud supporter of this show and local athletics. Steve Muller Motors, smullermotors.com. Quality, affordable vehicles, both foreign and domestic. Bob and Leslie Oman, owners of the Oman Theater in Lions, as well as the Newark Pilots, a minor league baseball team with a major league ballpark. Lizard's Tailgater Lounge, Waterloo. Best mott sticks around, where you can enjoy a drink and some laughs. SenecaFallsCountryClub.com. Awesome 18-hole layout, offering a 12-month payment plan. Home of the toughest par 4 in central New York. That'd be number 16. Marshall Auto Sales. DickMarshallsAuto.com. Awesome used vehicles, where you not only can buy a great vehicle, you can gain a great friend in Dick Marshall. Wilson Press, WPress.com. Seneca Falls, Rich Ricky, my good friend, and his team can handle all of your printing and mailing needs. Rich Ricky, Wilson Press, a fine sponsor of Weber This Week. Welcome back, everybody. It's Dog H. Weber with you with another edition of Weber This Week here on FingerLakes1.com. Hope you had a wonderful weekend, and I know this is a big week for you. And believe it or not, the weather's supposed to improve. They're talking maybe 45 degrees by the end of the week, which will feel like 90. We've been hovering around 8 or 10. It's pretty chilly out there this morning. But again, it's hard to believe Christmas Eve is a week from tomorrow, and I don't know. It's kind of scary. The time is flying. Let's run down some NFL scores and get Mike's view on a couple of these scores. You know, I got to tell you, and I keep repeating this, but Scott has always maintained that there's another element in NFL action, that some games don't turn out the way you think they're going to turn out, and there's really no reason why. Let's take a look at a couple of examples, for example. All right, here we go. Atlanta-Washington. You expected Atlanta to win that game. No RG3. They hung on one by a point. Atlanta did yesterday. Elsewhere, some of these other scores are just mind-boggling. San Francisco did cover, and they won quite easily. Arizona struggled. They won, but they struggled. The Saints are a good football team. Drew Brees, outstanding quarterback. They go on the road and play the up-and-down St. Louis Rams. The Rams run them out of the stadium. I mean, I'm not sure many people thought that was going to happen, but they did. Seattle, as expected, they were a 6 or 7 point favorite against Tom Coughlin's Giants. And, of course, win 23-0. Again, Eli's not getting much time. I was talking to Mike before we went on the air this morning. The question now remains, Tom Coughlin voted the best athlete ever to come out of Waterloo, fair square. Legendary coach, 2 Super Bowls in 7 years. I don't think they're going to fire Tom Coughlin. The question remains, though, and I think it's good discussion. Mike Francesa does the show on the Yes Network, 1 o'clock to 6:30 every day, Monday through Friday. very opinionated, really calls it the way he sees it. He believes the Giant organization led by the Mara family, who owns the Giants, will be looking at Tom and determining maybe they'll give him one more year. And the reason is, I know you're going to hate this, the age factor. Tom is a year younger than I am. I'll be 69 in April. Tom is going to be 68. And believe it or not, there are only 4 coaches in the NFL that are in their 60s. Tom Coughlin, the gentleman from Cincinnati, the head coach there, and think of his name, Jimmy.
Marvin Lewis.
Marvin Lewis. Shanahan for Washington. John Fox from Denver. Only 4 that are in their 60s. Everybody else in the NFL is in their 20s, 30s, and low 40s. And it's fair game when you start thinking about a franchise as proud as the Giants, and yes, they've won 2 Super Bowls under Tom. I don't see them giving him his pink slip, but I would wonder, and I would almost guess that they might bring him back for one more and say, Tom, one more and it's over. I would be shell-shocked, and I love Tommy Coughlin. I love his family. Matter of fact, I saw his sister Patty the other day at the dollar store. But I would be shell-shocked if they continued their relationship with Tom for more than one more year. And again, I think it has to do because I'm not sure, how do I put this? I'm not sure he's able to communicate anymore with these young bucks. I just don't see it. And, say it what you want. I might be wrong. Who knows? In a couple of weeks, they may extend his contract 5 years. But it's going to be interesting to look at Tom because, again, he's only one of 4 coaches. And I hate to say it, the NFL is a young man's sport. Yeah. And if you look at the NFL, Tom has had a sensational run there. 2 world championships. No coach in the history of the game can call that and do that. And
don't forget he took Jacksonville there, too, as well.
I agree. Right. So the point being is I got a hunch that the end may be near for Tom. I don't see it being next year. I think they're going to give him one more, but I don't think it'll go any further. What do you think? Let's talk about elsewhere. And, of course, the Giants were so listless. And, it's one thing to lose, but as Mike talked about, and we were talking earlier, they just didn't show much heart. And Eli Manning, oh, my God, I can't fathom him having a year like this year ever again.
Who's your team?
I'm actually a Cincinnati Bengals fan. So
okay.
There you go.
I was up late last night watching the game.
That was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
It seems like Pittsburgh's been so bad, and then this is a game, Cincinnati can basically secure a good home field and stuff like that. Yeah. And they get killed. It wasn't close.
And the Bears go into Cleveland, knock off the Browns, and, of course, it was sort of expected. Cutler came back. Indianapolis, as expected. Houston, oh, my God, Houston, are they having troubles or what? They got rid of the coach. They might get rid of half of that team. I don't think it's really the coach. I always laugh at when they fire coaches. Like, in your case, you coach the girls' basketball team. If the girls don't shoot the basketball and go through the net, you know what I mean? What are you going to do? You're the coach. You can't play for them. It's always amazed me. Right. Blame the coach. He's lost 10 in a row.
Yeah. they say a coach is worth maybe 5 to 10 points a game.
Yeah.
So
well, Gary Kubiak, I think he got a blessing. He got fired by the owner there, so he'll find another home. New England goes into Miami. Always a tough game. They throw an interception last play of the game. Miami upsets the Patriots. And this game cracks me up. And this is where I talk about the fix factor. Here are the Eagles rolling. They're just rolling with Fultz at quarterback. Michael Vick, he'll never play with Philadelphia again. You can say goodbye to him. He's out of here. I'm not sure. Maybe those irrelevant Bills down in Buffalo might consider him. But seriously, he'll never play another down for the Eagles. You can see it, the handwriting on the wall. Here's a team, Philadelphia, got everything rolling, 5 in a row. They go into Minnesota. Vikings are, they're minus a couple players. One of the players just happens to be a sure Hall of Famer. Maybe top 10, top 15 all-time running backs. Adrian Peterson, he's got civilian clothes on. What do you think, folks? You think the Eagles are going to roll? Yeah, what was the line of that game? 6.5. That seemed awful low to me when I saw it. Vegas had it 6.5. The Eagles get run out of the stadium. Yeah. They get beat by 20 by the Vikings minus Adrian Peterson. Is that the fix factor that Scott Trickler keeps talking to me about? How do you justify that game? How do you consider that happening? Without Adrian Peterson, Eagles 5 in a row, with everything to play for, and, of course, it just boggles one's mind, including the Dogs. Carolina, they did cover. No, they didn't cover. They covered it. The line was 10. They won by 10 against the hapless Jets. And I think Rex Ryan might be in his last year there as well. KC goes against the Raiders. They just blew them out of the water. Good night. Cincinnati, as Mike pointed out, he's a Bengals fan. He had a bad night. He stayed up late. The Steelers win by something like 10 last night. Yep. And the game of all games has to be the Dallas Cowboys Green Bay Packer game. I was just enthralled watching this one. I kind of like the Cowboys. I've always sort of liked them. I don't know why. I just have 26-3 at half. Dallas, home field. Green Bay comes out in the second half. And Flynn, give Flynn credit, the quarterback. He took over for Aaron Rodgers. Collarbone's still not very good. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays it the next couple of games. Yeah. I think they should shelve him now. But Flynn now comes in as a backup quarterback. They're down 26-3. They score a couple of quick touchdowns. It's within 7, 8 points. Oh, now the Cowboys get another field goal. 4.17. 4 minutes, 17 seconds to go. Dallas gets the ball, right? 4:17 to go. They're leading by 5. They have averaged on the ground, led by Murray and company, 6.7 yards a carry in that game yesterday. Almost 7 yards a carry. Now, as somebody would say on the networks, follow me on this. Almost 7 yards a carry on the ground, right? What does Romo do? Pass, pass, pass. I almost, Jim, if I'd have been on the third floor of the school building I live in, I might have jumped. The only good news, Jim, snowbanks below, I would have been okay. But how do you not run the ball? It's 4 minutes, 17 seconds to go, Mike. How do you not run it? It's mind-boggling.
I don't know.
How do you not put the ball in Murray's hands and say, okay, run it?
Yeah, I know.
I normally can't get shocked at my age as I approach 69. But and I didn't have any beer at the house yesterday. I only had soda. If I had a beer there, I probably would have sucked down 2 or 3 in a row. I was just flabbergasted. How do you do that? How does the coach, Jason Garrett, and the offensive coordinator not decide, hey, Jimmy Senecropi, your average is 6.8 yards a carry. You're going to carry the ball. Okay. You get stopped in the line. Okay. The clock runs, right? Right. They got to call a timeout. 3 passes. Bottom line is Romo throws 2 picks. Green Bay comes back from a 26-3 deficit, beats the Cowboys. Second worst collapse in Dallas Cowboy history ever. And, oh, by the way, the Eagles lost earlier, which would have been a huge game for Dallas because they would have tied the Eagles. Amazing. So there's not too many things in this world of sports that make me speechless, but that Dallas game certainly came close. Well, let's switch back, and since we've rehashed, oh, by the way, tonight's game, if you're interested, I don't think I would be staying up late. It's Detroit against Baltimore tonight. That's a game that I'll probably be in bed by 8:45. I'm not really interested in that one, even though I think Megathon, that receiver, is an outstanding
Kelvin
player.
Johnson.
Kelvin, yeah. Okay, Mike, you got the girls' team psyched. You lost 1 to Pittsburgh Sutherland. You got a big one tomorrow night, you said? You're heading to Geneva?
Penn tomorrow.
Oh, Penn. And then you got Geneva
Friday.
And that should be that'll be in Geneva.
That's in Geneva.
That should be quite the game as well because, as you pointed out, Geneva's got a lot of talent this year.
Yeah, they obviously got Penn tomorrow, and as a coach, I hate having only one day to practice before a game, but we'll come in tonight and try to get as much as we can about Penn, and then hopefully go tomorrow and take care of business. And then Wednesday, Thursday is going to be important. We went and obviously we got Geneva Friday. They're big, they're physical. I was telling, we went and watched them play Newark last week, and they get the ball up to the rim and then they just go get it. And if you don't box out, which is always an issue in girls basketball, then you're in trouble with them. So we only think about Penn right now, and then hopefully we can take care of business tomorrow and then focus on Geneva.
And then what's after that? You got Christmas break?
Got Christmas break. We come back and then we play Palmac, who I think is as talented as anyone, and not only in the Finger Lakes East but in the section, in the area. So they got great guards. They lost the now girl who was their center, so their size girl, and that hurt them. But they're guard heavy, and that's going to present a lot of challenges for everyone.
So basically, you take one game at a time. You certainly have the talent to make a run for it, but talent isn't everything. You got to work as a cohesive unit. Yep. It sounds like I think the kids are grounded to a degree. You can't worry about what you did last year.
Right.
You got to worry about right now.
Yeah, I told the kids before the year started that I don't want their best memories of Waterloo basketball to be last year, and we try to approach that every day, and it's tough because they're, majority of them are 3-year players, 4-year players, and we don't change anything. We've got our system in place, and they know what we're doing, and they know how practice is going to go, and we try to change up a little bit and make practices shorter, a little bit more competitive. It's tough. It's a grind. It's a long season, especially where we played 25 games last year. Mm-hmm. A lot of people expect us to do the same thing this year. I've tried not to bring it up at all this year, other than the fact that when practices get lethargic or we don't come out well, it's not the same. This is a different year. It's a different season. We got the addition of a couple new teams in our class this year. That's going to make it tough. So you never know. You got to stay healthy.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Who are some of the tough teams statewide in your class?
Bishop Kearney and Batavia Notre Dame moved up this year.
Okay, so Kearney's always tough. Private school.
Bishop Kearney, they added 2 girls. One was the Section 5 scoring leader last year. And then they added the Aquinas point guard, who was very good.
It's funny when you say they added. It's high school basketball. It's almost like they're making a trade or recruit with the private school thing. But
that's a different topic.
Another show. We have another show.
That's right. Yeah, that is. It's pretty interesting. Yeah. Well, you've got an outstanding start this year, even though you had the Sutherland loss. Certainly, your team certainly has got the talent, and as long as you have the desire and the willingness to take every game as it is, and now look ahead. It's easy to look ahead in sports.
Yeah, we planned this schedule, long back in summer when we wanted it to be as tough as possible. I think Finger Lakes East, in terms of conferences, is one of the toughest around, and I don't think it gets the credit it deserves. But we played Aquinas, who's an A school. We played Sutherland, who was an A school. We scrimmaged Oswego. We scrimmaged HFL. We're going up to Troy or Utica in January to play in a holiday tournament there. We play Troy, who's a AA school, who was in the state finals last year, and then we'll play either Utica or Syracuse CDA, or CBA, Utica was in the state finals last year as well.
Going to Utica in January, you may get stay over 4 days.
Right.
Reminds you of the time I went to Oswego.
Those are big schools, though. Bigger schools, big challenge.
Yeah, we wanted to challenge ourselves towards the end of the year so we could get ready for sectionals. And, the sectional, obviously, our sectional has got PALMAC in it. And like I said, I think they're going to be really tough. And, if you're fortunate enough to get through the sectional, you'll have – probably Bishop Kearney or Batavia Notre Dame waiting for you, who, are good every year. So,
well, our best goes out to you and the team, and certainly I'm looking forward to it because our FingerLakes1.com basketball coverage, which is unprecedented. I had a chance to watch that game that was done in Newark and Geneva a couple nights ago. I got home, and Dave Barnick had the play-by-play, and KK, Kevin Korsanewski, was commentating it, and I thought it was Jim's best broadcast as far as technically. It was really a nice broadcast, and
it helps when the game's close and the kids go after it like they did too. And the atmosphere in the gym was great.
I haven't been. I mean, I've been doing games for 40 years basically. I haven't done them in 2 years. I'm looking forward to getting back doing some play-by-play. And but again, folks, if you get a chance, I know it sounds braggadocious to brag about our studios here, but there's nothing quite like it. I've been through radio for many decades doing games on the radio. There's something special about what Jim has done here. He has put resources in, huge time outlay of cash to bring in the best equipment, the best cameras, and he's always tinkering to try to make it better for you. He's went out and got sponsors. He's got a big broadcast team. And again, not making fun of other stations. Some people do it one-person broadcast team, one person. We have minimum 4 for every game that Jim
That's
has
the
paid.
fun part. I like putting like Harold Weber with Matt Verkey or Dave Barnick with Kevin.
So,
that's fun.
That's pretty neat. And
2 games this week.
Yep.
We're at Minders Tuesday night.
Right.
They host PALMAC.
Yep.
Brendan Harrington and Matt Verkey on the call that one. And then we head to Waterloo for Geneva visits Waterloo on Friday night. And that game will be Dave Barnick, I believe, and Kevin Korzeniski calling it. So,
and I'm looking forward to coming out on the 28th. I'll get a chance to do Minders Academy at home against Lions, my hometown, and see Zach Young and the boys. And by the way, just a reminder, check out FingerLakes1.com TV's coverage of high school basketball. Excellent coverage, and it should be great. To Mike Bree, we thank you very much, and thanks for spending time with us. And say hello to your wife Keisha for me, and to you and the kids, happy holidays.
Thank you, you too. I just want to thank everybody. You guys do a great job covering not only boys basketball but girls basketball as well. So thank you.
And good luck rest of the way, Coach.
Yes.
I remember your wife Keisha because I met her a couple of years ago at the concession stand, and whatever I ordered, she wouldn't take any money for. So I always remember that. So
I'll have to scold her on that one.
You tell her that. You tell her the dog always remembers her face because she wouldn't take any money from the dog because she said I was working the game. That's my kind of girl because they always say my middle initial, F for Frederick, is really F for free. So you tell her if she's working a concession stand when I show up for Waterloo, I'll be checking her out.
I will.
Yeah, you'll be looking for another free meal.
I love free stuff. Jim knows all about the free stuff. All right, folks, you have a great week, huh? Take it slow. Get your shopping out of the way. The weather's supposed to improve, so you shopaholics will be at glory's end come this week. Next week, the two leaders of the Waterloo varsity girls team will be here. Yes, Lauren Deming along with Lindsey Johnson. They'll be on the couch for the whole show next Monday. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your week. Stay warm. That's a look at Weber.